Hey everyone, it's 7 o'clock. It's your career engineer. My apologies for being 1 minute late. We had to do a quick reboot. But it's all good. So I'm with you now. So listen, today with Push Up Your Career, I thought I would talk about something that I did bring up earlier when I did some television earlier, well, last month actually. And the reason I want to bring it up is because with these career tips and tricks today is because it's the resume. It's that very important, still powerful, still has value, still has to look good resume. So I thought tonight what I would do with your career was talk about resume wow, resume won't, take your questions if you have them, and be able to give you at least some tips and some tricks regarding the very important resume so that we can change the game. Now, just like I've done for the other broadcasts, is that while I'm here with you right now, I'll be looking at my secondary device so that I can make sure I catch things for you. Now, I don't know if my lower third is on. I have a funny feeling that's not. So I'm going to be manually telling you guys. Yeah, I don't think I put it on, but anyway, I tried. I don't know if you can see it down here. There's some different things, but you can text me at the TCE hotline, which is 757-745-4823. Again, 757-745-4823. And today's topic we're talking about in our Push Up Your Career resume wow versus resume won't. Your live questions will be part of this conversation and will help us to make sure we're answering things the way we need to. And the other thing that I definitely want to do is to make sure that you can reach out to me and answer your questions, and I'll definitely hit you up live. We might be here, at least 30 minutes I try to give here. And if there's other questions, we'll definitely, have some time for you to do some Q&A. But your engagement is very critical to help me make sure I give you guys what you need, because the resume is very, very important. It's one of the most important things right around here. So, and if you see me looking down, what I am doing is, because what happens is, which is all wonderful actually, is, a lot of you will be texting me and I have to look down and check it out. So again, what we're going to focus on tonight, resume wow versus resume won't. This is for anyone that's thinking about transitioning, whether you love where you are and you want to move up, or if you're not satisfied where you are and you want to move up or out, or you've been out of work for a while, or you're transitioning into something significantly different, or maybe something similar to the same. How do you use this tool, or what should you or should you not be doing? I want to bust some myths about the resume, but again, your questions are powerful. So make sure you send them to me, and I will definitely include them in the broadcast. And again, 757-745-4823, or the easy way to do it. In fact, let me put it in the chat. As I'm saying, I'm looking at my secondary device, and I'm hoping that I can find one of the links where I was at a moment ago so I can do this too and be up here with you guys at the same time. But one of the first things I would say, and again, for those of you from Push Up Your Career, I thank you for watching. You can catch the replay when we're done here. It will be available to you, and I'll probably send it back out to that newsletter so you guys can watch it on demand. But when I was on Wavy, or not too long ago, Wavy and Fox, I shared about if I could just get on one or two things that really, really makes it difficult for the resume to shine, it was the overkill of bullets. I said that, and some of you actually reach out. You called me, you reached out to me and was talking about, hey, you know what? I've got all those bullets. I'm killing you with the bullets. So let me give some bullet again from my perspective as your career engineer, what bullets mean to me, or the best ways that they should be used. And again, what I'm trying to do, guys, just bear with me. This happens all the time, right? I want to get into the actual broadcast where you guys are so I can type in something. But you know what? Here we go. It never fails. I love technology, but when it doesn't work, brothers and sisters, it does not work. And right now, oh, here it comes. Well, there you go. So I can type in something. Well, but you know what? Here we go. It never fails. I love technology. Me talking about myself. Doesn't work, why is it, brothers and sisters? Why is it showing up? So, okay, that's me talking. We don't want to hear me, but I'm going to put the phone number in here. So those of you who are YouTube shy and don't want to text it to me, don't want to share it, I'll put it here for you so we can do this. Again, 757, hold on, 757-745-4823. Okay, you can text your questions right to that number. So let me get in here about the bullet drama. So get your pen and papers ready. We're here for about 30 minutes. Let's see what I can answer any questions you may have. Bullets should be used to only to emphasize a point. Okay, it should emphasize something powerful. It should give a highlight. When I see a resume, I don't want to, I've got some actually in front of me right here. When I see a resume, I really want I want to look at something that's going to be no more than 2 pages long. Really, I mean, unless you're a professor or doing you're writing a book, you're published. I want to see something that's going to really knock my socks off. Now, I'm looking at things from a certain perspective, and every employer, or a HR person or gatekeeper may have their own what they're looking for. But I'm gonna tell you what impresses most of us: a clean, crisp, easy to read document that in 30 seconds or less, I mean, between 8 seconds and 30 seconds, right? That's the attention span we have. On paper, we'll say 30 seconds. Online, we'll say 8. But in a first page, there's something that grabs my attention. You're telling me something. So that if I look at your document for like 10 seconds, if I were to put your document down and think about who that candidate was, I can remember some critical points. I can read something that's going to share with me something you've done in your work history that was just unbelievable. I mean, and I mean this. I mean, I don't care if you're a ditch digger, if you're the bookkeeper, you're the rocket scientist, you're the IT person. There's something you've done in your work history, in that summary, or in the body of that design, that's going to make me go, wow. It could be highlighting your experience. You've been at a place a long time, or you've got some great experience. It could be something that wows me in the form of academia. Maybe you're getting other degrees. Maybe you are magna cum laude. Maybe you have some certifications or some additional training that's really hot or sought after, or maybe you have some really unique professional development. Maybe there's something in your summary or in that first page that's going to wow me, in the sense that you're saying some things that I haven't seen or heard from others. Or when I'm reading that summary, or when I'm reading those experiences that you bring to the table, I'm getting something that's just, of course, it's written, um, creatively but powerfully. It's getting to the point. I'm looking to get to the point because I don't have a lot of time. And most people in the hiring decision-making spaces around here don't have a lot of time to read something 3, 4, and 5 times. That you've used paragraph structure and bullet structure or some type of design that doesn't look like you put together in a half hour. Has to be a foundation that looks like you've really taken some great thought into this. You were intentional to share with me your gifts, your talents, some type of holistic perspective of what you bring to the table. Now, granted, if I'm a rocket scientist and all I want to hire are certified, ready to go rocket scientists so I can get to the moon, I may not necessarily care about some things you do outside of rocket science. Now, maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. I might just want your brain and everything that your brain has said, everything that you're doing in the mathematical spaces, what matters to making a rocket go up, making a rocket go where it has to go, and making a rocket land. That might be some of the stuff I'm looking for. But the rest of us, most corporations, at least the good ones, right, are looking for a well-rounded person. It's almost similar to what we say with college kids, right? When people say SATs only, SATs is the only thing everybody wants. But we would say, hey, they're looking for a whole picture. They want to see what you did academically. They want to see how you stepped up in leadership, whether in some school functions, things you did outside of school. They want to see, like, if you did have a job and you also made a 3.0 or a 4.0, that also goes into the picture because they're looking for someone that's well-rounded. Are you in teams? Are you in sports? What things do you do outside of academia? What good is a person who is all they do is, study? Well, then, heck, you should have great grades. I mean, why not? So to us adults, it's still a similar fashion. You want to make sure that this wonderful document that hopefully will reflect what you bring to the table, for the career space or the market space from the day you were born until this morning. What things you bring that matter, what things you bring that showcases your moxie and your grit and your persistence. and your purpose and your power and your positioning, right? And maybe you've done some wonderful things without getting paid. That's called volunteer work. Maybe you've sat on boards. Maybe you came up with ideas while you served in your faith community or while you served on the PTA, or maybe there's a passion project that you have that you do it with your eyes closed. You do it without even thinking about it, but it's something that you've created and you've connected dots or you've built bridges. Yeah, those things actually are what wow me when I see a resume. And I know it sounds, you may say to yourself, well, how in the world am I going to get something like that on paper? That's why you need to be intentional. That's why one of the first things you want to do to make a resume wow is you have got to know who you are and what you bring and where you want to go. You've got to know where you want to go. I mean, you cannot, I think a big mistake that a lot of folks do when they put those resumes together is you're putting it together for a job. Now that sounds crazy. I know it does because everybody tells you you write it for a job. I'm saying that this document is your first work sample. It's the first piece of, it's a work sample. It's the first thing about you. I mean, it's the very first thing about you. It's, in fact, it might be the only thing that some people see in the for-profit world or whatever about you. It's your, I mean, it's your artwork, it's your composition, it's your design, it's the brochure of your business, as a career entrepreneur. So I do believe that folks shouldn't do it off the cuff. You shouldn't throw it together by template in just 45 minutes. You need to put some thought into this thing because hopefully it will be designed to fit where you want to go. I mean, industry wise, environment wise, salary wise. I mean, goodness of fit. It needs to be a sales document, no doubt, but it's got to open some doors for you. It's got to wow folks in the sense that you can get a job done, that you've got beyond the job, that you've got the grit, and again the grind, the fortitude, the guts, all those things to get things done. It can't showcase what you're not, what's not your strength. It shouldn't showcase things that you're working on. It needs to only showcase the stuff that you're rocking with. And if you design it that way, I'm telling you, with that in mind, with that kind of thought process, it becomes deeper than this is going to send this out so I can get a job. It becomes a representation of your essence. It's an encapsulation of your genius. That's what it really should be. When you really want a good one, it doesn't matter, again, ditch digger, rocket scientist, bookkeeper, IT, MBA, yada, yada, yada. Okay. It needs to be an encapsulation of your genius, the gifts and the talents that you bring, all the totality of you. 2 pages, a good read, 30 seconds. Yeah, it needs to hit that. So that's my monologue, if you will, on what makes a resume wow. Um, and I think that's that's really in the day. Let me give you a couple of formats, if you will, just for general knowledge, so that as you're Googling and doing those kind of things like that, you can get an idea of what we're talking about. I have a button that says retry. Oops. Again, I'm looking down at my little screen. So please forgive me for that, but I am looking down at my little screen right now. So a couple of format types, okay? And some of this is, maybe I call Pete and repeat. But even though we're in this, this season where we're at now, some of the certain formats still are alive and well and considered the gospel. Okay. Of course, you've got your chronological. Of course, you have functional. We see a lot of creativity with the functional. And then, of course, you have a combination. And then I've seen some that are really far out. I mean, I've seen some far out designs. And I'm really kind of tracking to see what the response is to some of these far out designs. But basically, your chronological, I would say, is the gospel, the Bible of resumes, only if you have very good work history. You've got to have really significant, strong work history. All right. And for those watching, please understand we have people who are wallflowers that watch this and don't sign in. So don't worry so much. I'm not ever concerned about the viewership because I'm getting texts right now and emails from folks about things. But that chronological one is, again, gospel. A lot of people do it. I've been at this job, this long. This is what I've done. Okay, I mean, government likes that. City and state, federal has its own definition of a resume. But, if you're strong work history and you've got no gaps and you're reaching out to say, hey, this is where I've been. And while I've been there, this is what I've done. it might work for you, but everyone uses them, and it does take some creativity to make that format stand out a little bit. And again, depends on your level. You could be in management, you could be just coming out the gate, you could be mid, executive. So there's going to be that will be the format, but hopefully, depending on where you are, again, entry level, mid to senior management, that type of thing, you're going to have more creativity because you should have some significant performance. And there are a couple ways you can make the chronological wow with some great extras. And I would suggest a professional resume writer to help you get that. The functional is really as creative. It's been around, I don't know, a good little bit, particularly when we had a lot of folks in the old days, we would say job hoppers, but the world is different now. It is not uncommon to go three to five different career jumps today because the world is different. But the functional would often answer the question, this is what I can do. It's not so much about where you've been, but the skills, some folks may have a diverse set of skills of what they can do. And there's some pros and cons of this. I mean, some true functional resumes don't have dates with them. They just don't have any dates. They just leave it all out. I don't like those. Those make me nervous because the first thing I do is say, where'd you learn all this from? You just can't say I know how to build rockets and I never put anything down saying where it was I learned how to build rockets. So true functionals don't include dates, but to me it's a big red flag. But if you have to make a choice because you've got to get something out there and you've had a whole lot of jobs for a short amount of time, or you're brand spanking new to what you do, you got to weigh your pros and cons on if that's the right one for you. Combination resumes have a little bit of chronological elements, got some functional element, some creativity, kind of massages both brands. If done the right way, they can be pretty spectacular. Okay. So one of the first things you'll need to figure out with your resume, wow versus won't, is which design. And I mean, you can Google resume designs everywhere and you can find all kinds, but I will warn you, I'm going to warn you, one thing you want to be careful is not to have so much flash on a design and be empty of substance. You don't want to do that. I'd rather you have significant substance and have a clean, crisp, well written, checked grammar, and if you're going to be creative in your wording, fine. I mean, I've been told someone before as a joke, as a gentle joke, if you are going to make an error, at least make the same error all the way out so that, you know, it's the same error. You know what I mean? So not that you should have any, but you understand you want to proof it, not just yourself, get somebody else to look at it because a different pair of eyes does make a difference. But you really have to find a design. And again, it depends on the industries you're going to go to as well. Okay. Because as I shared earlier, you got to know who you are and what you bring. And if I'm going to be a banker, if I'm going to be a lawyer, if I'm going to work in more conservative settings, I most likely will have a more conservative but powerful design. I mean, kind of having a resume that's probably good for MTV or the film TV industry or broadcasting world, or someone that's very artistic would not probably go too well if I'm looking for a job in legal and insurance and for a bank. So a lot of it does, not only is it about you, but it is where you're going. My resume, and I do have one because I believe every entrepreneur should have a resume. Mine is very much performance based, obviously. I do share my W-2 experiences from way back when, it seems like, but I definitely share as the CEO of Career Engineer the things I do in business, the impact I've made, the reach I've made, my numbers in respect to our clients and our success rates, and my community involvement and my leadership positions and my media appearances. I have all of that worked into my 2-page design. Of course, my education and my training, but even my I will call it what would I call it? YouTube University. I don't know. There's I might take a class here or a class there, or learn a new technology skill here, or and that there's a creative way that I share where I'm staying current with technology or innovation, particularly social technology, right? So my 2-page resume evolves at least. I try to look at it every 90 days, believe it or not, or no more than 6 months, because things change, and performance markers I did 5 years ago might still be pretty powerful, but there could be something a little bit more relevant right now. You understand? So it's a breathing, living document. So don't think you design it and you stick it somewhere in a drawer and you only pull it out, dust it off when you're ready to look for a job. It's like a will. It's a living, breathing document. And when things change, it might need to change. So something to think about when you come out wow and what won't. There's a question about what type of format. I mean, well, we get format, but what type of things, what type of sections should be in the resume? So that's a good one. It depends again on the design. It depends on what you want to broadcast and what you want to put out there. I would suggest, and this is going to be my personal opinion, okay? I mean, I like to see a summary of qualifications, like a headline. I like to see professional experience, education and training, depending on again what you're going for. I love volunteer experience. I'm just all up in that because it shows me a little bit more about the person's your commitment to community. Granted, I am an MSW, so I have this big thing about community. All right. But everyone may not have a big thing about community. But as you're looking at the companies that you're going for, you can look at their websites and see what type of, corporate culture they may have. If they're big on community, you better have some community. So I might like sections on, competencies or skills and abilities or computer, technology or volunteer, memberships. I'm big on that kind of stuff. Of course, like for me, instead of saying education, I often say education and training. I often will look for professional development because it means you're staying relevant. You're doing what you can. I mean, to keep it real. I mean, because things change. I mean, everything is changing. Everything is evolving. So objective, I personally love an objective. I like for us, the changer, the job hunter or career professional, entrepreneur to decide where this is going versus someone deciding for you. I've got headhunter friends that despise the objective and because they're like, I know what you want this job. Or some of us are in career transition that's trying to maybe approach this a different way or be fluent in a couple of different industries. I like writing my designs to industry, not necessarily a job, but to industry. It can be used for a job, but I like to reflect them on industry because it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. And a lot of the folks that I tend to work with who are getting career re-engineered are looking to make some changes. They might want to leave an industry to do something different, or they want to step out on faith and try something totally out the box. And I want to use their past and their present to help them navigate to a different future. So I'm more of a fluid design strategist when it comes to resumes. But again, the objective, the summary, professional experience, professional, education and training, volunteer work. I like to see if there's some hot competencies you have. If you speak other languages, if you've got some hot competencies, certifications that are really in demand or hot or something, gone to school 5 years ago or less, things that, I mean, that's some stuff I look for. But again, please understand, it depends, it really depends on what you bring and what you're putting out there. But that's a very good one because, everyone's is different. So what I would really suggest to folks is to do the following. I'm going to put a blog up shortly on my tcenow.com. And if you go there, tcenow.com, you most likely will get our mobile we call it mobile app website, mobile website. But if you do go on the desktop, I do have a couple things. I have a resume self-review tool. All right. And if you're following me on social media or again, Push Up Your Career, folks, I'm going to put the link there when I follow up with this. You can just click that, do a self-review all by yourself, right? I've got some visual things I look for. I've got some content things I look for. And you can kind of give yourself a score and decide, is this wowing or wanting? Okay, that's what's important. I'm going to also put some of the things I shared, talking about those bullets and talking about being brief and to the point and talking about, making sure your language is very important. Your language is very important on the resume and some of those words to avoid. I'm going to do a blog about that, so definitely stay tuned to that. Trying to think of I know there's something else I wanted to share with you guys. I know it was right here at the top of my head. But anyway, so look out for that. So the resume review tool, self-review, you can do it 24/7, anytime. You can get an idea with it. Then a blog about it and stick it up there. And when I blog, I'll probably capture the video segment I did on Fox and Wavy the NBC and the Fox affiliate here in the 757. So you can watch the video, but you can also see deeper some of the things to watch out for. You can also make sure you reach out to me if you're interested in getting your resume re-engineered or getting your brand kind of wowed, particularly if you're in transition. You might want to reach out. You can easily go to our website, tcenow.com. You can book a 15-minute session with me. You can email me your resume so that when we talk on that session, I've got something that I can look at, and then we can go from there. But you can see all of our products and all of our offerings right there on the website, you know. And of course, if you're a member of Push Up Your Career, which you have to be if you're watching this, we're going to do, I tell you, I've been flooded, and that's a good thing. I'm not complaining, but flooded with some, you know, opportunities to help people to make Monday mornings, you know, awesome. But at the same time, we're trying to make sure that we're able to serve all of you who are asking me to help you out. So just, you know, make sure you stay vigilant. TCEnow.com. Drop us a line at the phone number 757-745-4823. And you can reach out to me if you're ready to make that change. One great thing I do want to put out here for you guys and make sure you understand, a couple of great things coming up that we're going to be putting out in our newsletter really soon. I've just been so busy. I'm not sure, you know, and I'm not sure if being busy is a good thing anymore because I can't do some of the things I like to do, like make sure I keep you guys informed. If you're a military veteran or a spouse or retired active duty, there's a great event happening. It kicks off May 14th and it's free. You want to be a part of it. It's called civilianbootcamp.com. So make sure you share that with others. Civilianbootcamp.com. You could type that, but then / my first name, Francina, and you'll get access to it. In fact, I'll put the link somewhere so you guys can get it. That's really a hot thing. I'm honored to be one of the presenters there. About 20 speakers helping military families, spouses, again, active duty and current, to you know, you got into boot camp to get in the military. Now you got to have a civilian boot camp to transition out. That should be a really, really cool event, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Make sure you catch, if you're in the 757, your copy of the Hampton Roads Employment Weekly. I do have a Q&A out there, and this month, I mean, as I'm sharing this with you today, I've responded to how you deal with that salary question. That's a really big question for a lot of people, okay? So make sure you check out Hampton Roads Employment Weekly or go online, hrew.com. So you can watch it online if you're not in the 757. So hrew.com, okay? Also, I mean, just make sure you stay abreast of TCE Now. We have the summit coming up in October. We've got the roundtable coming up in June here in the 757. We're going to be doing some offline networking using some new toys I have. So if you guys want to mingle with each other, you can mingle, but you got to do it online, okay? So a lot of great things, because guess what? It's May at the time I'm filming this, and half the year is over. I mean, almost half of the year is done. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you really want to make some changes and do some things differently, you really don't want to procrastinate. You want to be about the business of getting your Monday mornings in order, to change them, to make them better. Entrepreneur as well as the career seeker changer, okay? So here, that's what's up. So listen, what's going to happen is those of you who will catch this on demand, watch it at your leisure on your mobile device or on your desktop, that is fine. But remember, it's about making that resume wow. Quick recap, all right? You got to make sure you know where you're going. You got to make sure you've done your homework. Watch your overuse of bullets. You have 30 seconds to wow on paper, 8 seconds online. Think about the format that best reflects you, okay? There's chronological, there's combination, there's functional, and a little bit of creativity in between. Make sure you know which one will best help you share your answer. It's about your gifts and talents, what you can bring to the table. People want to know what you can do for them. So they don't care about what you think you can do. They want to know what you have done. That's very important in the resume world, okay? Folks hire performers. They don't hire people who present well. They want people who perform and get it done. Are you the get it done guy or gal? That's what should be hitting up on that document. Certain sections I like objectives. Some people don't, but it has to be a really powerful one. It can't be, I'm looking for a job as a customer service agent. No, it's got to be something more powerful. I like summaries, summary of qualifications or career profiles. I like professional experience. I like education and training, volunteer, community service. Of course, any honors or awards or things that really stand out. Those are some of the sections I like. But again, it depends on you, what you bring, what you've done, where you want to go. Okay, because creativity is a big part of resume reengineering. Because right now, people want the whole person. If you catch the beginning of what I shared, I talked about how when you're in high school, we want not just academics. We want to know if you played sports. We want to know if you volunteered places. We want to know if you had a job while you were in high school. So employers want a whole person, not just the brainiac. We want to know, have you done some of this? Have you done a little bit of that? It's a holistic picture because corporations today, and we do know that it's a different time, 21st century job search, but those who are looking to W-2 you or have you in some of these great companies you want to get in front of, they're looking for someone to fit their corporate culture. So you have to do your proper research or your due diligence to learn about that entity and what they're looking for and all that kind of good stuff. So if their corporate culture is about community service, of course, being rock stars on the job, but they have a holistic approach, then you better have a holistic approach. Okay. So you got to do your homework. This is not something to put together quick, fast, in a hurry. All you will do is stay in the unemployment line or unhappily employed or underemployed for a very long time. If you put quality work into it, do some soul searching, dig deep, figure out what you want, figure out what you don't, do some research on where you want to go, where you don't want to go, get an idea of your gifts and your talents and your performance and your accomplishments and your leadership. If you can't do it, hire someone to do it for you. Because if you want to make money, if you want to make money, if you want a job paying you X amount of dollars and you don't have it now, I mean, an investment, a 3-digit investment may be the best thing you could do so you can get these conversations at these levels. Okay. So that's what I'm going to say to you about that. So listen, we will have another Push Up Your Career in July. So in the meantime, look out for newsletters coming your way. Make sure you white space, or we call it whitelist. I think that's the word they say. Whitelist my email. Everything comes from my direct email, Francina at tcenow.com. If you're not getting things from me, check your spam, because sometimes I get spammed in your email boxes. Okay, but remember, you can reach out to me anyway. I'm available by technology, and catch me on fourth Mondays at the Hampton Roads Show, wavy.com, Wavy 10 NBC affiliate, as well as the Fox 43 affiliate here in the 757. Okay, so remember, it's all about making that wow and not having that won't. So I thank you all for your questions. I hope this is a benefit to you. Go out there, make it happen, and remember, don't get anxious. Always, always stay prepared. I'll talk to you guys next year, next month, next time. Yeah, next time. Y'all be blessed. Bye bye.